record this. Okay, so I'm recording this too. So yeah, regarding your question about dairy, sheep and goat milk technically would be considered dairy, but because it is galactose, same molecular structure as human breast milk, we can digest it. And I've never met anyone who had a problem with, who is lactose intolerant, who also had problems with galactose. You know, it's just not a foreign molecule to our bodies. And like I said, you know, these are the Arbonne, the digestion plus digestive enzymes. And what you would do with this is mix it with a very small glass of water, like half a coffee cup, 4 ounces, and drink that before you eat. And I've even done it after. I mean, if I have any kind of upset going on in my system, I'll drink one of those. And it totally handles it no matter what. So it says to do it 30 minutes before you eat, but I've found it really doesn't matter the time frame at all. And those are super huge. So for her, that would be the product to recommend to her as she's learning to go to steer away from dairy, because, you know, there's almond milk, coconut milk, and all kinds of different milks that are really yummy. And the cheese, you know, if someone loves cheese, like tomorrow on the morning show, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to take sourdough bread and sheep cheese and like a tomato and maybe some arugula or something, and I'm going to make a panini. And they're not going to know why. Well, how is it that I can eat a panini if I'm going gluten-free? Well, it's because gluten-free doesn't have to be torture. You know, there's so many tips and tricks. Let me see if the camera's going to come back on.
Okay. Sorry, I was typing to my best friend to share with her the sheep cheese.
Sure.
And then, because she's allergic to dairy.
And everybody really is.
Yeah.
Tamara. I don't see her in my friends. Hold on, let me see where she is. Oh, wait. Oh, sweet Tamara Positive Stoneham. Where'd she go? Okay. Oh, there she is. Hey.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me shut down some of these apps. Quit that. Okay, there you are, Tamara. Okay, so did you have any other questions, especially regarding your daughter? And you know, yes, I saw your picture that you were going. Can you hear me, Tamara? Tamara, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So I saw the photo of you today that you were going out for your workout, and I think that's absolutely remarkable how much weight you've lost and kept off. And you're absolutely right. As soon as you get back onto it, it really comes down to inflammation. And here's the amazing thing, is that Ayurveda, which is the lifestyle of the yogis, so when you talk about yoga, well, Ayurveda is the lifestyle, which has to do with doing yoga and the diet and all the other things that go with it. They say the cause of all disease and dysfunction in the body is catarrh, which is mucus, which is inflammation. So inflammation is the cause of all disease. Inflammation is acidic. and it
Mm-hmm.
takes up space, so it causes pressure and pain, and it's gooey and sticky, so it slows down our metabolisms because our body doesn't have a way to digest and process these things. And so that's why we store water, because when we eat, we're eating things that aren't digestible, and our stomach bloats full of water that's stored in our tissues, and it goes right to our abdomen so it can flush it out like a toilet.
Mm-hmm.
If we have enzymes, we do have enzymes for the foods that are meant to be in our bodies. And so that's why we don't bloat when we eat certain things, and our body releases the water. Form fits function. So if your body has to have a function to flush all that stuff out that's not digestible, it's going to hold on to water. And if it doesn't need to hold on to water, you'll lose it rapidly. So go ahead and whatever questions you have for me, by all means.
Well, for me, I think the one thing, well, that cheese, I definitely didn't know about the sheep cheese. I never tried it. What I did was, I kind of backed off of it a lot and went more to the white cheeses. But now I really don't eat any cheese because it's not that I don't want it. I just felt like, you know what, it was kind of grossing me out. Just like kind of like the meat is kind of grossing me out now. I wasn't vegan, but now I'm just like, I might as well be, because I can barely eat the chicken, or I went to eating chicken, fish, or turkey anyway, but I can barely eat those now. I mean, I can still eat fish, but it's hard for me to really eat those. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me explore another avenue. So now that I am trying to do vegan, I know that I'm going to have to add, other proteins and stuff besides, I know Arbonne has, the great protein shakes and stuff. With the sheep cheese, you said that it has something in it that will break down.
Well, the molecular structure of the sugar is just like human breast milk. So it's not foreign to our bodies.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, every client I've ever worked with, you can eat as much as you want.
Okay.
And not gain weight, because your body has the enzymes to break it down. It is not foreign. It's not a foreign substance. So you won't bloat, you won't cramp, you won't have any kind of disturbance in your gut. And just, to make sure that you're taking your enzymes, that'll help. That's, it's a good thing anyway. Just to help you break down and absorb, it helps create a bioavailable environment for the nutrients that you're eating. But yeah, I have not encountered anybody that had issues with sheep. Goat has a different flavor. There's lots of people who like the goat cheese. That's fine. I'm kind of over it though. And the sheep, I'll tell you what, when I quit eating sugar a year ago, I lost an immediate 10 pounds. And the only sugar I really have now is in my Arbonne products. And I'm happy with that because I love the fit chews and the shakes and things. And so it sounds ridiculous to say, but I found myself too skinny. So I thought, I'll eat sourdough bread and a bunch of cheese. Didn't gain a pound.
Yeah, and I can agree with that sugar thing, because I don't even have sugar in my house. Like, really, I that was one of the things that I had to eliminate. And I would go to different things though. I mean, I would do my dark chocolate, dark chocolate covered almonds, stuff like that, dark covered cherries. But how do you really feel about like the agave? The raw nectar agave. How do you feel about that as far as?
I don't know. I mean, I never had a problem with it. I quit using it personally just because I quit having a taste for sweet stuff.
Okay.
When I get my kids like waffles, because they have gluten-free waffles at Trader Joe's that are quite nice, and they have a maple syrup agave blend, because maple syrup is just darn expensive. And so I figure, and they use so much of it. My kids use incredible amounts. So I thought, well, I'll just go with that. I don't think it's inflammatory.
Okay.
So, it is sugar, it is calories, but if you're non-inflammatory, you're going to need it.
Right. I use a lot of that, but I noticed you only have to use an itty bitty, teensy bit of amount. And it's just that I had started hearing different things about it recently, like, oh, it's not, what it seems to be, and you should probably go more with stevia, but I don't like the aftertaste.
Oh, really? Okay. So, You know, if you have success I tell people, don't even look at your weight, look at your size. Don't weigh yourself, because water weighs differently than fat, than muscle, and all that stuff. So look at your size. And if you are shrinking like crazy and you want to have agave, go for it. You know, having a non-inflammatory diet doesn't automatically make you healthy, but it makes you a lot healthier because you're not inflamed. And of course, the Arbonne products are going to keep your pH level a little bit alkaline, which is really, really important. That's healthy. But yeah, I mean, I've not had any reason to tell anybody not to have agave.
Okay.
But that's not my main area of research. You know, if I researched it and I was like, okay, well, here's the pros and cons to agave. But on a personal level, when I check it with myself and with my clients, there doesn't seem to be any kind of issue there at all. It's not inflammatory.
Well, I hadn't noticed anything from it from myself. I continued to, and I would tell people that, like, I ate so much, you know, and I would continue to wake up and be shrinking, but losing fat. And because I was working out, of course, gaining muscle. But to go from a size 24, 26 to a 10,
Wow.
you know, with no surgeries and stuff, you know, and then all my other friends, some other people got gastro bypass, different things like that, and they had terrible results, terrible nutritional issues.
I've heard
one of my girlfriends right now who had the gastro bypass is now doing Herbalife. And I'm just like, where does it stop? You know, unless you completely kind of do the things that you were discussing here. I mean, that's the only way, and people don't understand the science behind it.
That's right. And people don't know what gluten is. And people will say, well, I don't have celiac disease. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. These things aren't food. And that's what I say in my book. Eat food. Eat the American meat and potato diet. Have a pot roast. You know, have stuff like that. That's okay. Just don't eat things that are inflammatory. And when you explain to them what gluten is, like I did, gluten is the protein found in the hull of the wheat to protect it from sun and wind and rain as it's growing, because it's so water insoluble. So if you think when we put that in our bodies, it's going to act or behave any other way, that's just not the case. And, you know, my gosh, I actually get really kind of heated about it, because I am pretty sure, you know, the Food and Drug Administration, why are food and drugs in the same administration?
Right.
That doesn't make sense unless they're in cahoots.
Collaboration.
Exactly.
That's why.
So Sara Lee probably also, you know, the subsidiary, whoever owns Sara Lee probably also owns Weight Watchers and also owns a bunch of prescription drugs for the symptoms that come from it's just a mess. So what I try to get people to understand is you can live your life, you can have tacos, you can have even spaghetti, pasta. There are amazing brown
rice pastas and quinoa pastas.
Go for
it.
You know, and go ahead, and I shave the sheep cheese on top of my pasta and on my tacos. And if I want to have a little Parmesan cheese, either I eat a little chocolate or the digestive enzymes, and I'm fine.
Wow, yeah, I'm gonna definitely try the sheep cheese. But you gotta have that Digestive Plus. I don't know if Erin knows about that Digestive Plus, but that's a winner.
It is a winner, but you don't need it if you're eating sheep cheese. You won't need that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you'll just be able to digest that. But some of the symptoms that I have personally seen my clients get rid of and get off of their meds in a matter of 3 days to about 10 days is chronic sinusitis, acid reflux, irritable bowel, joint pain. I mean, think about it. If you have, okay, let's look at it this way. If inflammation is mucus, which is snot, then we have snotty bodies. I really wanted to write a book called Snotty Bodies.
Right.
It is. So if you imagine in your joints having all that pressure from the extra acidic fluids, and acid in our bodies, it when our nerve endings are acidic, it releases it's pain. And when we're alkaline, that pain goes away. And when we're not inflamed, we don't have the pressure. So for me, my back is broken. When doctors look at my x-rays, they are stunned that I can walk. First of all, as a gymnast and a dancer, I have a very, very strong core, but also I'm not inflamed. So there's not that extra pressure on my back and on my nerves. And I do the skinny wraps. Have you ever done an Arbonne skinny wrap with the detox line, the C-Source?
Yes.
Okay. That pulls out extravascular fluid. And when it pulls out the extravascular fluid and corrects the pH of that acidic inflammation, you're going to feel so much better. And for me, I use the skinny wraps. I call it a body sculpting detox. And it pulls out that inflammation. And I use that to help relieve my back pain when I'm in pain. But it's incredible. You know, people will be relieved of their joint pain in a week, not if that. You know how fast it happens. It's amazing.
Fast, really fast.
Yep. When I eat gluten, I can't walk for a few days. It's just incredibly painful.
I used to wonder, I tell people, have you ever seen your stomach blow up in a matter of like minutes or an hour and you thought you were crazy? Like you look in the mirror and then you didn't have anything, and then you look in the mirror, you eat something and it's blown up. And they'd be like, yeah. I seen that, but people would say that I was crazy. I'm like, no, it's the gluten.
Right.
You know, it's the gluten and the foods that you're eating. And they'd be like, okay.
The way you can explain to them how that happens is the water is stored in our tissues, in our arms, in our legs, in the rest of our body, because our body knows it needs it. Because when we eat, we're eating things that aren't digestible. And so it pulls in the water from all of our tissues, all of our body into our gut to flush it out like a toilet. That's what that belly bloat comes from after they eat. So when you wake up and your belly is relatively flat, and then throughout the day it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that's why.
Okay. And I guess over a period of time, if you continue to eat, poorly, then your body starts creating the fat for protection.
Well, it just stores more and more and more and more water.
Okay.
You know, of course there's an element of fat, but let's say someone goes to the gym, they don't change their diet, but they go to the gym and work out like crazy. No amount of working out burn the fat and build muscle, but there's no amount of working out that's going to decrease the inflammation that the diet causes. It's not going to happen. And so people, like I said, our country, Americans aren't really that fat. We're just very, very bloated.
Wow. Yeah, this information definitely needs to get out to as many people as possible. It's simplified.
That's right.
You really simplify it, and I mean, I really don't know what to say. This has been really informative on top of the things that I know. It's just been confirmation, but you make it make sense.
Thank you. And that's why my book is only 70 pages, because I like to distill things down and explain them in a way that makes sense to people using analogies or just explaining the body process in a very, very simple way, because it doesn't take a 300-page novel to learn. Nobody wants to be an expert. People just want to know how to feel better and look better. And they don't realize how fast it is. I mean, okay, great. So we've got these other gluten books out there, but I still think mine is the best because it's short, it's simple. Someone can read it in a day or two, and it has a list for, okay, do you need to stop at 7-Eleven to eat something? What are you going to eat? Grab some Fritos. Grab a granola bar. Those aren't healthy things, but at least they're non-inflammatory. So what I wanted to tell you guys is now it's so much easier because things are labeled, contains wheat, made in a facility that also, produces wheat, whatever. So that makes it way easier for most people. But the ingredients are going to say things like wheat, enriched wheat, flour of any kind, food starch, unless it says from corn, Modified food starch, that's wheat. Natural flavors, that can be gluten. You know, other natural ingredients, that can be gluten because the whole of the wheat is technically natural. So, but we're so lucky today because things are labeled. But then people think they have to shop in the gluten-free section, and that's just not true. That's what I really try to get across to people is, you know, eat rice, eat beans, eat meat, eat corn, eat sourdough bread, but just stay away from everything else.
And I can say that during my journey, you know, like I said, I ate meat, I ate rice, I ate corn, I ate those different things. And it didn't matter because when I was really doing the clean eating, and like I tell people, you want to get your body as alkaline as possible. So I also integrated the alkaline water, you know, the Kangen water actually, and cinnamon and different things that I put in my regimen. But definitely when I was eating, as long as I'm eating clean, I can pretty much eat whatever I want.
That's right. You can be too alkaline. We really want to be pH correct.
Right.
Some people take it to the extreme and start drinking things like baking soda. And that causes problems too. We need to be correct, not balanced, but correct for our bodies. Because you can be too alkaline. But if you have a diet, you know, I mean, people eating Tums all day long, they're destroying their bodies, even though they might be very alkaline. That's just as bad as being too acidic. We do need like hydrochloric acid in our stomachs to help to process our foods. And if we don't have that, then the food just goes rancid in our gut. And so that's a problem too. So as you're walking people through this, you know, continually bring them back to the Arbonne products because that helps us keep our pH correct for our bodies.
Right. That's what I tell them as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. And another thing I'll throw out there to you guys is that people say, oh, we need to drink lots of water. We're 80% water. We are not water. We are saline. We are salt
water. Wow.
And if you drink water and water and water, you're going to flush out all those minerals that you need, the salts and electrolytes that we actually need. So, of course, our new hydration from in our sports line is really good for replacing those electrolytes. You can also take sea salt and put it in your water, squeeze lemon in there so you're getting the electrolytes from the salt, you're getting the alkalizing effect of the lemon, and then put maple syrup or agave in there with that, so you're getting some of the sugars that we need in our blood, and even a little bit of the cayenne pepper for that nice heat in our metabolism. You know, of course, the sports line has addressed some of those things, but you can do it naturally. And sometimes I'll tell people that just so they know, look, I'm not just pushing Arbonne products. I'm trying to help you understand the elements that keep you healthy.
Right. Just in case they couldn't get it.
Yeah.
So what I would do a lot is the infused water, like cucumbers, lemon. I would drink a lot of that during my journey. That's all I had in my refrigerator. It had to be infused with something.
Good.
And of course, Arbonne didn't have the Phytosport then, but I have a lemon tree in my backyard. So wow. those were my things. I didn't use the cayenne, but I've heard about that with the fasting, with the lemon, the cayenne, to keep your body regular. So I know that is true.
Well, it creates thermogenesis in your body where it raises your heat, which increases your metabolism.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to start using that tomorrow.
Yeah. And it tastes really good. It tastes just like lemonade because, you know, because we're saline, when you put that salt in there, like Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt,
which is what I use,
it tastes really good. Now, the pink salt, do you know that you don't grind it and use the crystals? What you're supposed to do is get a jar and dump the crystals in there and fill it up with water. And the water turns pink, and then you take a scoop of the water itself with the dissolved salt in it, and that's what you're supposed to use.
Are you serious? I be grinding away. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's weird. Say what, Aaron?
Is goat cheese the same thing as sheep cheese in terms of dairy?
Yes, it's galactose.
Okay.
Yeah, and it does have a goaty flavor. Tamara.
I'm here. I'm here. I was just
Okay.
responding to a text from my daughter. She's coming in from Vegas. Yeah. She's
Well,
like, okay.
your finger over your camera. That was funny.
Oh, no, no, no. I had to go to my text messages. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. So yeah, the sheep cheese just has a nicer flavor for most people. It's just more just a more normal tasting cheese. And oh my gosh, it's so good. If you guys, I live in Big Bear. We don't have a Trader Joe's. We don't have a Whole Foods. Thank goodness our Vaughn's up here carries a sheep cheese, a Manchego. That's a very common sheep cheese and it's very wonderful. But if you have a Trader Joe's, like I said, get the Basque sheep cheese. And if you have a Whole Foods near you, go right to their cheese bar and ask them for samples of every sheep cheese they have and take a little notebook and take notes about what you like. And because we can change so many lives with this information. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So many lives.
Not only just for us, but there's a lot of people out there struggling, and there's some innate sense, I think, in human beings where they know this isn't right, but they don't have the answers. And now I'm starting to get deeper into my research of inflammatory process, but I think generally speaking, 95% of Americans would be just fine only doing cutting out gluten, lactose, soy, and sugar.
Yes,
well,
I totally agree.
And cow. The cow proteins, whey, lactalbumin, and casein. Sticky proteins. They actually use casein, the casein protein, to put beer bottle labels on the bottles because it's so sticky. It's glue. They use it to put soles on shoes. It's sticky and awful. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All those things. And when you see those what is it, the whey isolated proteins, so that gives the same effect, right? As far as I know, people were saying kind of stay away from those.
Yeah.
Or the ones that have the soy base. I don't drink any soy milk because of that situation, but people run the soy.
Well,
and
so,
I don't.
Okay. So the bovine proteins are very sticky and create that inflammatory process. Soy creates an estrogen dominance. Being estrogen dominant causes weight gain, carb cravings. It's causing female cancers in men. It's causing, man boobs and things like that, where you're seeing men being feminized by the abundance of soy. And it's the same thing with plastic. That plastic molecule, okay, plastic is not a solid. Glass is. Glass doesn't break down into whatever's in it, but plastic does. And that plastic molecule mimics estrogen in the body. The body recognizes it as estrogen. It binds. And then we become estrogen dominant. And that's why you're seeing, oh my gosh, so many problems with that. So they're both problematic, but for different reasons. They have different responses and do different things in the body. Yeah. Definitely do not drink out of plastic bottles. This is my Arbonne cup from GTC, and this is full of water right now, and I'll put my fizzies in there. I put the hydrate in there. I'll put sea salt in here. I just carry this thing around as stainless steel, and it's not leaching anything into my water. Isn't that crazy?
That's why they were telling me bring glass for the Kangen water, because the plastic it does something to it. But I'm guessing what you're explaining right now, but they didn't explain that to me.
Yeah, it's estrogen dominance, the plastic molecules. And,
wow.
And when it comes to glass, you want to get tinted glass, because what biodegrades things are sun, air, and water. Sun, air, water. That's how things on our planet biodegrade and go back into the planet and become new things. So if we're talking about plastic, the water in, if you look at those plastic bottles, they're clear. And so whatever vitamins and minerals may have been in that water, the sun is coming, right? It's getting heated up in the back of, I don't know what, but it's, the sun or the light or whatever, even if it's sitting in a warehouse with light on it. You want to get a glass, like the Pellegrino bottles are great, because if something's going to sit in that glass bottle for a while, you want it to be tinted glass. Now, if you're just filling it up and drinking it pretty much right away, that's different. But if you're drinking water out of a bottle, drink it. If you're buying water in a bottle, buy water that's in a green tinted glass bottle.
Right, because that other water's been in the sun. It's been everywhere. And that plastic. That's what they were saying. Don't leave your bottles in the car and the sun and stuff like that. But we know that those packs have been in the sun and on trucks and who knows?
Up and cooled. Yeah, it's really, really, really not good. And I cringe when I see people drinking out of plastic bottles anymore. I
had a bottle the other day, and I looked and I said, what? Someone actually went and got a couple of bottles. I was at someone else. I said, why is this bottle? I haven't even opened it. Why is it full of bubbles? I mean, it was bubbled. I mean, like, how because I feel like it had been sitting a while, like in the sun or something. I don't know. Completely full of bubbles, like as if it had been opened or.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
I can't. I mean, once in a while, if I really, really have to, I'll buy a bottle of Fuji water because it's a harder plastic. But I can taste. It's not so much I can taste the plastic. I can feel it in the water. It's like a solid as I'm drinking it. It's not water. So, Aaron, do you have any questions or anything that you're thinking about, pondering?
So with the host party we talked about, what is the benefits for the person that puts it on?
Okay, we call them host rewards. Tamara, Aaron is just new as of a couple of weeks ago. So the host rewards, an average presentation has a qualifying volume of $500 regardless of who's buying at a discount. And that's an average presentation. And out of that, the host can get $350 or $375 in product for $50 or $75. I have to look at the specifics again, but they get a free $50 product and then $125 for $25 for every $250 in retail volume. It's called the $250 RV special. So if they do a $500 party, that's $250 and $250. That's $250 in product plus a $50 free. So that's $300 in product for $50. That's what it is. $300 in product for $50.
And the 125 is for every two purchases of 50?
Hold on, we've got 10 minutes left. Okay. So it's called a $250 RV special. Okay. Now there have to be 3 orders. This is in your the Arbonne Success Plan or the Consultant Guide. It's in one of those. Yes, it's in your packet. So you want to read through those, but the $250 RV special is for the hosts as well. So when their presentation does $250 with 3 orders, it can be two orders and let's say they put an order in for something not on special, but let's just say 3 guests order stuff that totals $150, then they just get a free $50 product. But let's say 3 or more guests order stuff that equals $250, then the host gets the free $50 product plus another $125 for $25. And then if it gets up to $500, then they get 2 of those. So then it's $250 plus a $50 product for $50. I know it sounds confusing, but you'll get used to it.
Okay. Yeah, I was in that too.
And, I mean, honestly, okay, I'm a single mom. I get no child support. I homeschool my kids, and I work from home, and I afford Arbonne. So when people say, I can't afford it, it's too expensive, I'm like, stop. I can afford it because what I do is I take outside orders and I set up a presentation. And when you go to your dashboard, you'll see my event or my events, and you create an event. And then you can take outside orders because I have clients who just won't go online and order for themselves, and that's fine. But I run them through a presentation and I get the host rewards. So on a regular basis, I'm getting hundreds of dollars in product every month for 80% off.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I manage to have things to use for me and my boys, and to sample out. Like, I'm a crazy sampler, sample like crazy, and to also give away like in raffles and give extra gifts to my hosts. So to get like an extra Awaken sea salt scrub, or, you know, like even just right now, I've got these things like I put together. This is a 7-day body cleanse. Oh my gosh, you guys. I could never figure out how to make cute little packages. I figured it out. You get the little bags, and instead, because I don't like tying and twisting. I don't want to tie and twist stuff. So I use these little rubber bands, and I put a rubber band around it. And then instead of tying this, I just slip it through the rubber band and put a couple of little thingies on it, and it looks cute as can be. And then I've got one here. This is our CC cream and our new eye cream. Same thing. And put a little fluff in there. And then I've got, like, this is a sample of our lip collections, right? Same thing with the little rubber band. I'm so glad. I mean, I did not, the rubber bands make my life a lot easier. I have no patience for gift. I'm you know? And then an Awaken Sea Salt Scrub. So I have a raffle I'm doing, and I'm going to set this out and give away samples of this in tiny little itty-bitty containers so people can go and try it. And then I'm not going to give this away. I will buy one and get it to them, because then I get to communicate with them and get their information and have a relationship with them instead of just like, here you go, I'll never see you again. And then I have a host party on June 6th, and this is what I'm going to give her. And because she's going to have like 12 people there, she's got confirmed, thank goodness. And when I give this to her and let people know, not only will you get your host rewards, but I'm going to give you this amazing sea salt scrub, which of course we're all going to try as they walk in the door, and they're going to fall in love with it because it's aromatherapy. And let everybody know that when they book a party with me, they get one of these.
Oh yeah, that's in the bag.
Yeah, I just figured that out. I've struggled with this gift giving thing for a very long time, and I just figured out the rubber bands and ribbons through the rubber band. Just I can do that, but I'm not sitting there for hours and twisting and tying and. So we've got about 5 minutes left. I appreciate you guys so much. This has been absolutely so much fun. And Tamara, I was looking forward to meeting you, but this I mean, this is awesome.
Hey, yeah, you met me on my down day while I'm in the bed and stuff. And I mean, this has been great. And I don't know. I mean, like, you need to do some retreats.
Oh,
I mean, like, really.
Idea.
You need to do some retreats, because a lot of people need this. I mean, I know your book's out there, and I'm definitely going to, you know, talk to you about collaborating and spreading the word and stuff, because everybody, I definitely want to get a copy, so I'm going to do that. And
it's a digital copy at this point for $2.99 because Amazon wouldn't let me make it free, or else I would just give it to the world. But you know, I'd never thought of doing a retreat, but that's kind of the way to do it, because you have to have people for 3 or 4 days for them to really see and like monitor everything that's going into their bodies.
Yeah.
You know, I have a client.
Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh. I have a client who's on the 30 days to healthy living and beyond. And I saw her out, and she's eating these little, like, what do they call them? Little tiny hamburgers with
little sliders.
And I'm like, I didn't say anything because it's none of my business, but it's like, you can't have that.
Right.
You can't be eating that, girl.
Yeah, I gave away a 30-day to Feel and Fit kit to someone that I wanted to help so badly, and
Oh, that is so sweet.
and
I would love to do that.
I tried to, I supported her in every way and talked to her about the diet and changing certain things, not eliminating, eating what you love. And I think the great thing that she did, she gave up coffee. But she was 318 pounds. She only lost 6 pounds. So I know for a fact she did not go on the 30-day. She
Right.
couldn't tell me because she's so inflamed and so inflammatory. There was no way she followed it.
Right.
But she did give up coffee and turn to, the fizzies and stuff like that, which was good. But
You know what might help her is that 7-day cleanse. Have you done one yet?
oh yeah,
Oh my gosh. Did that
oh yeah.
totally, that's why you're not craving meat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That totally just pushes the reset button on our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with you? I mean, so you weren't craving meat anymore. What are you craving?
Right now, and I'm gonna tell you this week, I've been really on. I'm doing my shakes. I'm doing the green balance.
Good.
And I'm just pretty much doing like brown rice. I had a 13, that 13 bean soup mix.
Sure, yeah.
That as well. Different things like that. I'm not really doing too much. I'm not really having any cravings.
Oh, good for you.
I'm not. Last week I was all over the place, as far as you name it. I was stopping and I was trying to get it from candy, milk chocolate, to found myself eating Funyuns and all kinds of stuff. And I saw 2 weeks, let's just say, but I saw myself, bloating and getting heavier. And I was like, oh my God, and so this week, I would really say the last 8 days, every day I would, every other day, play with myself and get on the scale, because I know it doesn't fool me. The scale, I can get on it every day and it doesn't trick me. I know it's just a scale, and I know, what I'm doing.
We're going to get cut off, but I'm still listening, and we can talk on Facebook too. Yeah, it's
okay.
Size more than weight when it comes to inflammation.
Right. The retreat, definitely. But yeah, let's talk on Facebook.
Okay.
I'll also give you my number.
Thank you.
Yeah, the retreat, that's something that is so needed, and it's something that can be put together, and you live out there in Big Bear, where they rent places out, nice places and cabins that ladies and men would want to come and really do this.
That's a great idea. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. So keep me in the loop of things. We'll be in contact. Thank you very, very much. I know you need to go and talk to your business builder, your business partner. And thanks so much.
Oh my gosh. Thank
you for all the information.
Absolutely.
Have a really good evening, and I'm going to definitely get that book.
All right. Thanks, Tamara.
All right. Bye.